for Stacy Nichols.
She's around the track. She gon' run away when it gets hard. She can't take the pain, she can't get scarred. She hurt anyone that gets involved.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tori. Thank you, Mike. And thank you to this guy over here, sound engineer. Like, oh my goodness. Yes, also my laptop was not cooperating. I was like, I need a lapel mic. And anyway, always making extra difficult stuff here. All right, so as far as I know, this is the first time at any DJ conference that I'm aware of that this topic has ever been spoken on, which I think is going to be awesome because when I do business coaching with people, this is one of the first questions they always ask me. You know, well, what do you say when you get a lead? You know, what do you do? And it's such a huge part of our business. I think it's something definitely worth talking about. So that's what we're going to do. That's me running there. And this is my daughter Jennifer. I bring her to conferences with me a lot. She's not here this year, but if you come back to some more conferences, you'll definitely see her. You know me, I like to jump right in. This has to go. Don't say this anymore in your emails, please. Especially like, you're not the venue. They've been talking to vendors already for months by the time they get to you. They've been hearing this now for months. No more congratulations on your engagement, please. That needs to go. All right, now that I've said that, we can go on to the table of contents here. So what we're going to talk about is how to really start a conversation, and I'm going to tell you exactly the elements, how to do it, what to say, the elements of the conversation, because there's some things here I'm going to give you that you can just literally copy and paste and throw this into the mix, but we can't copy and paste the entire conversation. So what I'm going to give you is kind of elements of things to touch on, and that will be kind of your guiding line. And then we're going to talk about my magic phrase to get your sales meetings booked. Okay, this is going to be epic. This one sentence, I promise you, will be worth your trip to the expo. We're going to talk about price, of course. That always brings up so much anxiety. What to do if you get ghosted. And then setting up some automated workflows for your email stuff. And at the end, a dirty little secret to tripling responses from your contacts on the knot and wedding bar. This is going to be huge. This too, you guys are going to be like, oh my God, how did I not think of this sooner? Okay, so I'm going to talk today about the principles of influence when I'm talking about the things to do during the email. These are going to sort of be our guiding principles, the things we need to touch on. So the first one is the principle of commitment. And the reason why I specifically am saying to start a conversation is because what you're going to do is you're going to ask a few questions, wait for them to respond. Ask a few more questions, wait for them to respond. Ask a few more questions and wait for them to respond. You're not going to give them everything up front, okay? The reason is because with the principle of commitment, the more actions that you can get the bride or groom to take, the more committed they become to working with you. Okay, think about when you going to buy a car. They're not going to say, do you want to come in, sit down, and look at a really scary document on my desk and then possibly have to sign it? No, of course, that's huge. It's crazy, that's intimidating. What they're going to say is, would you like to step into my office? Would you like to sit down? Can I get you a water? What was the car? Okay, yeah, so you see how they break it down into these little bite-sized things for you, and pretty soon you're looking at the document, they got what they wanted, but they presented it to you in a way that was low effort, low stakes. They asked you to take little steps to get you over there, instead of like, hey, do you want to just jump right over there right now? Okay, that is going to scare off a lot of people. So, we're DJs. How you're going to start that conversation, so we have a lot of back and forth exchanges with these leads, is like this. And this is a little bit small. Let's start with the most important thing. What music are you thinking for dancing? I want to make sure I'm a good fit for you. What music do you want for dancing? How many of you people never ask this during your courting phase? Never ask about the music. Is that huge? We're DJs, we're selling music. This is so important. And not only is it important for just the functional aspect of the fact that we're providing the music. But the reason you want to start your conversation like this about the music, a couple of reasons. Again, it's low effort and low stakes. Who doesn't like talking about their favorite music? It's very easy. I'm asking them to do something very easy. It's an open-ended question. And what most often happens when I ask, what music do you want for dancing? I get a long paragraph, sometimes 2 or 3 paragraphs. And is that a buying signal? Is that a huge buying signal when they took the time to write me a long email, multiple paragraphs? Of course, we've already got them hooked in more than the other guy. Because we opened up, we got them talking about the music. Another thing I like about this is it steers the conversation away from price. Because usually it's on the tip of their tongue, right? They want to just get that out there. I don't want to waste my time talking to some $10,000 guy when I got this in the budget. Or I don't want to, you know what I mean? It's on the tip of the tongue, and now I've rerouted them away from that. Maybe not for long, but at least for a little while. And it helps them understand how to hire a DJ. How many couples never even ask us about the music, right? We're guilty of not asking, but they're guilty of not asking either. They don't know how to hire us, and this is a subtle way of kind of pointing them in the right direction. Let's talk about the music. That's what we're doing here. So it's a great, great way to start your conversation. And I recommend that you keep the emails kind of short like this. It's just like 2 questions, they respond. 2 questions, they respond. What not to do? Do not bombard them with one of those long emails, okay, with the bullet points. It's got a PDF attached, your calendar link is there, you've maybe embedded a video, okay? You need to think of this process very much like courting, like dating, okay? So when you first meet someone, you don't tell them your whole life story. When you send these guys a long email like that, you're telling the life story of your DJ business. That's scary, it's intimidating. We're trying to do low effort, low stakes. Telling your whole life story is the complete opposite of that. Also, directing them to your pricing questionnaire. I know some people that just are so intimidated by the pricing question that they will throw it in the client's face because they don't want to have to get scared of it later. So they just, right off the bat, like, okay, take this questionnaire so I can figure out what the price is going to be, and then we'll talk. You don't even know, I mean, like, maybe they want 6 hours of trap music and you don't play a lot of trap music and you just wasted their time giving them a price and you're not even a match, right? Okay, another thing is the opposite of this, ignoring them if they ask about the price. Some people are just, their very first email is gonna, what's the price? That's fine. We're gonna talk a little bit later about how to handle that. But you definitely can't ignore it. You need to acknowledge it. And again, with the congratulations on your engagement. Okay, that absolutely, positively has to go. Okay, so we've started the conversation with what kind of music do you want for dancing? And don't just be open-ended, like what kind of music do you want? Because they're gonna waste your time telling you about the cocktail and the dinner music. Do we need to make people dance or read a dance floor? We don't care. You could literally just spoon feed me the whole list. It doesn't matter. Play whatever you want for that, but the dance music, that's what we really want to make sure we're asking about. So be specific. What music do you want for dancing? So we're just going to keep the conversation going, again, with short emails. So I'm going to talk about the templates a little bit, but here is an example of one that, the way that I set it up in my own system, I use 17 hats. You have like DJ Event Planner, one of the other ones. I have kind of my email signature that I like to use, and then things I know at some point in our back and forth, I'm going to say, I will almost always ask if they'd like to see a sample wedding outline or script from one of my previous weddings. So I'm basically saying, you want to see how detailed and organized or prepared and professional I am. So I ask them if they want to see a previous album or a mix. Okay, they want to see what I sound like. And I will almost always ask them if they want to see my wedding brochure, which is basically just my prices and packages with like a press kit in the first 3 pages. Here's all my awards and my career highlights, and then here's packages. Okay? So instead of having to look up that link every time I want to use it, I just keep it in there, and then if I don't use this link or that sentence on this email, I can just delete it out of there, but when I need to use it, it's already typed in there and I've saved a few seconds, so. Okay, let's get into the rest of the principles of influence on keeping the conversation going now that we've started. Free stuff, okay? That's what the reciprocity is, this next principle of influence. And you know, when you're at a bridal show and you see the basket of the free chocolates and you really want one, but you know if you go take one, then you're obligated to talk to that guy for like at least 2 minutes because you've taken the chocolate. I mean, unless you can get away with sneaking one when they're talking to someone else. But the thing in our brain that makes us know we have to stay and talk to them for 2 minutes because we got a free thing from them, that is the principle of influence of reciprocity. So when we give them free stuff, we kind of get that courtesy 2 minutes back, right? So something you can give away is like a free PDF guide. Over my career, I've done like a comparison chart for different DJs they're going to talk to. And, you know, so they can kind of write down all their stuff when they interview us. I've done a lot of different things. I'm going to show you an example. Another one that's so huge. Do you need any referrals? This is so crucial. If you're not asking this during the process here, definitely make sure that you include that because you're going to give more work to your friends, who in turn will give more work to you, which means you get to do more weddings, people you like to work with, and it helps out the client. That's one person they didn't have to start from scratch and go through wedding line or blah, blah, you know, you've definitely made the process easier for them and giving them something free, and it's easy for us to do. Okay, so when someone fills out the contact form on my website, the confirmation page has free stuff on it for them already. So I don't have to remember to say that later in our conversation, because I know I already took care of it just with the contact form. So it says, "You rock, thanks for contacting us. You know, we're checking our calendars. In the meantime, you deserve some swag." And I give them a video, 10 critical questions brides and grooms fail to ask wedding DJs. People tell me all the time how helpful this video was. They actually watch it. This one I feel is less popular, but definitely I hear comments on it. The 7 most overlooked wedding dance floor killers, and that's an ebook. So they have an ebook or a video, and you'll notice this is not garbagey stuff that I threw together in 5 minutes. Like, I spent 2 days making that video. I reshot it 3 or 4 times. I wrote a script for it. It's a solid piece of content. You can YouTube it and watch it. It's not a private link or anything. And same thing with the dance floor killers. You know, I'm sitting there, years and years of experience, and I'm like, God, when the cake is in the corner, there's always less dancing because then everyone has to leave the dance floor to go over to the cake. What if we just put the cake over here? Then I could actually get more people to the dance floor. Right? They appreciate these kind of tips, things that we have in our heads. Give it to them. They really, even if they don't hire you, they're going to remember that you're the one that gave them this tip. Okay, next one is scarcity. Now, I am a big advocate of not being pushy in the sales process, especially these are millennials. Their advertising and BS and phony radars are super high tuned, okay? But if you legitimately already have people trying to book this date, or you already received a number of requests for the same date, go ahead and tell them that. Put a little bit of a fire under their asses to get moving. On the same token, if you're a multi-op, well, I only have one DJ left on this date. If that's a fact, if that is an authentic, transparent fact of your business, then go ahead and tell them that. If it's a wedding for 2023 and you got nothing the whole season, like, you don't need to make something up to be putting that extra pressure on them. You know, don't feel like you need to make anything up. Always be authentic. But if this is the situation, definitely let them know. I'll take questions at the end. Another thing with the scarcity, on the homepage of my site, I have, you know, a little thing that says, last year, Stacy turned down 60 couples because she was already booked on their dates. This is a fact. It's true. Now 60, I don't know, let's say 50 of those 60 couples were for the same 3 Saturdays in October, but they don't know that. 60 couples is 60 couples, and I'm sure you probably turn away a similar amount of people as well. But it helps create a little bit of scarcity, not necessarily during the email process, but. Next one is authority. And really, if you've done other weddings, been to other weddings, already been to their venue, you have some authority. You don't need to be like Diplo or I speak at every conference. You know, if you already know the venue and weddings and music, you have authority, which is really just expertise, okay? You might share a blog post that you've written from their venue, so they can see like this is the way the floor plan went at that venue, or something along those lines. Again, with the free guides or free videos, you know, you look like an expert. You are an expert in those videos. You put it together, you've shared your knowledge. You can also include awards, training, like, oh, I've been published in Style Me Pretty, something like that, in your email signature. The more stuff you can kind of squeeze into your email signature, the less you have to kind of remember to touch on these elements during the actual conversation. So I'll show you again some email signature stuff in a bit. Likability. I can't make all you guys likable in like the next 29 minutes here, but a few free tips, okay? No stuffy language. So again, with the congratulations on your engagement, it's not real, it's not authentic. You don't know them, okay? So try to just kind of let go of the shoulder pad, cummerbund, you know, saying we when it's just you, and that kind of stuff. All of that makes you look stuffy. You know, say something funny, just be conversational. You can put a picture in your signature. Connecting words with a face is always something that just makes you more human, more likable. Something that I do, because we're DJs, is I use song lyrics everywhere. When I do my branding seminars, I always tell people, you know, don't tell them you're fun, you have to be fun. Well, if I'm using song lyrics, I'm being fun, right? So, email signatures, email subject lines, on my website, like the contact buttons, anywhere I can squeeze in song lyrics, I try to do that, just to be fun. Social proof. This is not difficult, okay? We're probably already doing this anyway, but you can put a testimonial in those templates that you're making for the email conversation. Each one just has a different testimonial. So here I sent this response Tuesday, and now I'm going to use this one, and each one of those signatures has a different testimonial in it. And of course, you want to throw in your social media links. So here's kind of a breakdown of one of my email signatures. First of all, it's not the signature, but on the subject line it says, pick up the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Depeche Mode, right? It's a funner way than saying I'm trying to sell you something, right? It's likable. I have a testimonial here, and just a little side note on testimonials. How many of you guys have done like the screenshot of the 7-paragraph, 5-star not review, and you've posted that somewhere in your social media? Like, ooh, look how many paragraphs this bride wrote me. None of you have ever done that? My BS meter is high, people, and I know that you're like, oh God, yes, she's going to, yeah. I'm going to tell you not to do that. Okay, let's see. How many of you have ever actually read one of those 7-paragraph reviews that your friend has posted? Yeah, you read your own, but have you read your friends? When your other DJ friends post theirs? No, we don't read them. Okay, this one guy over here does, but nobody else does. This is what you're going to do. Again, these are millennials. The attention span is limited. Take out one sentence of the testimonial, and then of that one sentence, you get like 5 words to put in bold. That's it. That's the attention span. One sentence with 5 words in bold. So when you're going to post that testimonial to your Instagram, it's a picture from the wedding, and then you write the one sentence with the 5 bold. That's the testimonial. No more screenshots of your reviews, okay? So same principle here. That's how I want your testimonials to look in your email signature. And then I say peace and humptiness forever instead of sincerely, okay? It's likable. I have my social media links, and then down here at the bottom, click to see Stacy's upcoming public performances. So if you play at a bar, or you ever played a grand opening, or something that's open to the public, you can make a little calendar of these things, and it gives you expertise, it gives you authority. This is one I've used since I moved to Cancun about a year ago, so this is one that I use in Cancun. I get to be a guest DJ on this radio show, so I just put some flyers from the radio show and say, hey, tune in to hear me on the radio, so that gives me social proof and authority. So just get creative. Think about what you have. You can throw in your email signature, and then that's just less stuff you need to tell them during the conversation. All right, this is the magic phrase. If you don't want to request slides later, definitely make sure you take a picture of this. Here we go. Okay. A wedding is such a huge investment. I'm sure you're vetting your vendors like crazy. So just let me know if you'd like to set up a phone or a Zoom call so you can pick my brain before you make your decision. Who likes this? Sound good? You're welcome to use it word for word. I want you guys to use this. Let's break it down kind of section by section. So a wedding is a huge investment. It reminds them that by their very nature, we're getting to the price part of the conversation and it's going to suck. I've already, you know what I'm saying? I've already disarmed them. They're disarmed now. It's like if I just apologize right away, oh, okay, I guess I was right. Oh, okay, I guess we're done now. I mean, that's what I'm telling them. You're right. This is going to be expensive. Okay? I'm sort of commiserating with them, like on how much work and effort the planning of the wedding is. Like, oh, it's just so heavy, right? Wedding is such a huge investment. Next part, I'm sure you're vetting your vendors like crazy. This is all these things kind of have like little psychological elements, but this is like a subtle nudge to help them know how to hire a DJ. Because again, we hear this all the time, well, I've never hired a DJ before, I don't know, what should I be asking you? People literally ask you, right? Like, what should I be asking you? So it's kind of guiding them in the right way. You should be vetting me like crazy, which means ask me a lot of questions, look up my reviews, read everything on my website, listen to some of my mixes, right? You should be vetting me like crazy. It also puts a little pressure on them in case they were thinking of not meeting with you. It's kind of like shaming them for thinking about not meeting with you or not setting up a call, right? But in a way that's we're not pressuring, okay? So just let me know if you'd like to set up a phone or a Zoom call. It does not say when you'd like to set up. I'm not pressuring them. I don't want to be pushing. You should not be pushing anybody. They don't like you, and you saying when instead of if isn't going to change that. There's no need, there's no benefit of being pushy. And the other thing is, I haven't asked them for a face-to-face. I want a face-to-face. I mean, I know we have COVID and everything, but we want face-to-face meetings. We like face-to-face meetings. What happens, I don't know, at least 50% of the time, when I ask them if they'd like a phone or a Zoom call, they will ask me, do you want to just grab a Starbucks? Do you want, let's meet in the middle, I'll come, and something like that. And they're asking me. It's a huge buying signal, right? They want to find a parking spot and follow GPS to a place. You know what I mean? They're willing to do that for me. So even though I'm not asking them for that face-to-face, at least half the time I end up getting it anyway. And something is vibrating up here. That is Jess. Yes. That's okay. I could put it on silent. I like it when things vibrate. Single lady joke. Oh, other people can have fun up here, but I can't. Okay. My daughter's not with me this week. We're here to have fun. Okay, and the last section here is so you can pick my brain before you make your decision. Another subtle clue that you should be vetting me, you should be picking my brain, okay, is really guiding them in the right way on how to hire you. You should start thinking of questions to ask me, and you know what I mean? And it's not just, I'm not saying you should interview me, because those are like stiff and stale, and they print the list of questions off from brides.com, and half of them you're like, yeah, I told you I have insurance already. They're just stupid questions, right? But picking your brain is like personal conversation. You know what I mean? Like, what kind of music do you like? Right? That's picking your brain. That's better. That's what we want to do. So again, it's instructing them on how to hire a wedding vendor, but it's also subtle pressure that, again, because weddings are a big deal, it's worth your time to talk to me. Okay? Hope you guys like this magic phrase. You're welcome to include it in word for word in all your stuff. Okay, so what if they ask about price? This is really nothing to panic about because I just recently went through this myself. So I just moved to Cancun. I've always been a knot person, but they don't have the knot abroad. So I have to do wedding wire now. So I call the wedding wire people. Yeah, I already know what you do. Just tell me the price. I'm going to sign up regardless of what it is. Just, you know what I mean? I'm like that horrible shopper, right? Just tell me the price. And I know that she's going to want to get me on the phone, and like, I don't want to get on the phone. I don't want to hear the sales. I'm like, I'm already sold, okay? Like, I don't want the phone call. So yeah, I'm just being that terrible person. But I thought it was funny, so I'm writing my slides about this at the same time I'm doing that. Anyway, so this is what you want to say. If they ask about price too early in the conversation, before you're ready to talk about it, and you can use this word for word. My price depends on a variety of factors: the date, the crowd size, the venue, the kind of music, the nature of the event, etc. And then you pick one of these three options here. You don't use all of them, you just pick one. You can do a starting price, an average price, or a price range. So you don't, when they ask about price, you don't have to give them the whole price list, all the packages, okay? I'm not ready for that yet because I haven't talked about, the music, or I haven't talked about your crowd size. I still have questions I need to ask you. Do you need an extra setup for the cocktail hour? Who's doing the ceremony sound? I got questions. We're not there yet. So that's why we need to follow up. After you say the sentence, you need to follow up with another question to let them know we're going right back into that rhythm that I have established with you, where I ask 2 questions and then you respond, and then I ask 2 questions and you respond. So you say this, and then you get on with your next question. If you don't know the crowd size yet, or you haven't talked about lighting yet, ask your question and let them know we're continuing on with the pace of me trying to get you the price, which I do that by asking you questions. All right, being ghosted. Again, like the price, it's not something to panic about because, again, like what I just went through was signing up for Wedding Wire in Cancun. I got busy. I know I need to buy it. I want to buy it. But I got busy for a week and I didn't get back to them. Did I get a follow-up email from anybody? No. If I had gotten one, it would have been like nice for me because it would have like, oh yeah, I really need to get this, I'm delaying it, I got busy. You know what I mean? It's just a gentle reminder. Okay, so put yourself in that mindset when this happens, rather than thinking, oh, they hate me, and you're drudging up your childhood issues of not being loved or whatever. Don't deal with that, just think of it as reminders because they got busy. So 80% of sales require 5 follow-ups, whereas 44% of salespeople give up after just 1 follow-up. Okay? If the term follow-up is like a misnomer, think of it as a reminder. Okay? They give up after 1 reminder, but the average person is going to need maybe 5 reminders before they're like, okay, yeah, I really got to book this DJ. 70% of salespeople stop at 1 email. Yet if you send more emails, you've got a 25% chance of hearing back. Anyone want a 25% boost in their business just by doing this one super easy thing? It's a huge, huge thing, and most salespeople just really don't understand. You're not bugging them if you're sending a reminder. If you're sending a pushy, here's my packages again, here's my bio again, here's the contract again, that's pushy. That's different. People don't like that. But friendly, short, brief reminders are welcome. This is an example of one that a reminder, a follow-up that I would send out. Okay, it just for the subject it says check baby 1 2 3. Okay, I like to use the song lyrics, but the subject your wedding is also really, really effective because they can't remember, are you that DJ that the other guy referred to us? And, I don't know. We should just open this because it's clearly important. It's about my wedding. On day 14 and 35. 50% of people said they would be encouraged to make a purchase from a salesperson who doesn't try to apply pressure or hassle them when they're following up. Okay, again, so in case this isn't clear, don't send your prices again. Don't send the contract again. Don't send your bio again. All you're doing is sending gentle, no pressure reminders. Do you still need a DJ? Just checking in. That's it. Okay, let's go into the workflows. I've already talked about a lot of this and the timing of things, but we'll break it down specifically. So you want to have in your DJ CRM program at least 2 different workflows, one for new leads, and then one for if they ghost you, a no reply. You haven't heard back from me. This is a screenshot from my 17 hats if you want to take a pic. This is exactly the way that my new lead workflow works. So they get an autoresponder for my contact form, and then I have a template where I ask, what kind of music do you want for dancing? And then I have a reminder for myself 2 days later. If they haven't responded, they're going to go over to the no reply workflow. Okay? If we're still talking, then we still talk, and I put a reminder in there for myself like every week. Have they still responded? Are they still responding? That way I know when I need to kick them over to the no reply workflow. So this is what it looks like broken down, because I know that slide was a little difficult to see. So contact form with the auto reply, what kind of music do you want for dancing? 2 days later, a reminder, has this person replied or not? And then we're going to move into, if they're responding, the different elements of the conversation. I send you 2 questions, you answer them, I send you a few more questions, that back and forth that we talked about at the beginning. Every week, a simple has the lead reply reminder to yourself. Because if you need to kick them over to the no reply, then you need to have something reminding you to do that. As a tip, I recommend you never know what can happen, copy and paste like the magic phrase or the link to your brochure, whatever common things that you tend to email people a lot, copy and paste those like into the notes section of your phone, because this is what happens, right? You're walking into Dodger Stadium and you're like, oh my God, I'm gonna be without my phone, and I'm carrying all this, and I got my kid, and fuck, I got a lead from the knot, and it's really good, I love this venue, and okay, I know I gotta answer this in like 3 minutes, or Alan Berg is gonna strike me with lightning. Okay? So, set down your popcorn, just copy and paste the sentence from your phone, don't worry about opening it up in your CRM, you can do that in the office later, just enjoy, you know what I mean? Like, you're driving on the freeway, just pull over for 2 seconds, answer the lead, and move on with your life. But it's just easier and quicker. I have found if I just have it in my phone, even though my 17 hats has an app and blah, 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 it's just easier and faster for me to do it that way. This is a screenshot of what the no reply workflow looks like in 17 hats. So immediately, once they've been identified as someone who's ghosted me, immediately they're gonna get follow-up 1, 5 days later, follow-up 2, 14 days later, 3, 21, it goes weekly after the first one's okay. And I'll send like these 5 or 6. And then if they haven't responded after 5 or 6, we're at a month now, I will delete them from my system so it doesn't get clogged up. So I have a reminder there to delete them. Copy and paste. Okay, this happened to me the other day, and I think it's a really good example of this, but I'm on live chat with JetBlue. And I said, my name is written wrong on my True Blue frequent flyer program. Could you correct my last name? It's not letting me book my ticket because it shows a discrepancy. And the person responds back, what's your confirmation number? Have you not even read what I took the time to write you? I don't have a confirmation number because I can't book the ticket because my name is wrong. Okay, so if you're thinking, I'm going to cheat the system a little bit here and I'm just going to copy and paste all of my emails, or I'm going to create templates for every single one of these emails, that's what you're going to sound like. It's not going to be authentic. Okay, so you cannot pre-program all of this new lead email. You have to take the elements that I gave you and weave them in and ask your questions. Okay? You cannot copy and paste everything. Okay, this is the end. Really excited to share this with you guys. This was actually the first article I ever wrote for Bookmore Brides. And this is the thing I think is so funny, right? Alan Berg is like, you have to respond in 5 minutes, but does it not offer an auto reply? No. Okay. So this is how you're going to make your own. And you're going to be the fastest response of all the people that contacted them, from all the DJs they reached out to on the Knot or Wedding Wire. This is what you're going to do. You're going to make a separate email that's going to be, Washburn Entertainment, the Knot, at gmail.com. You're going to make one Washburn Entertainment, Wedding Wire, at gmail.com. Okay, this separate email that has no other purpose other than just to be that email. Okay? On that email, you are going to program an autoresponder. And it will say, what kind of music do you want for dancing? Right? I'm checking my calendar to see if I'm available on your date. In the meantime, what kind of music do you want for dancing? I just want to make sure we're a good fit. Email signature. Okay? Then you're going to tell the Knot or Wedding Wire, this is my contact email address, so every time they email you like a bill or whatever, like they're getting that same autoresponder. But that's fine, because it's serving your purposes and you're maximizing your marketing money. And then you want to set up on that same email, you want to have a copy of every email that address receives forward to your main email. Okay, I'm seeing heads nod. I always love seeing heads nod. Awesome. Okay, and again, 35 to 50% of sales go to the vendor that responds first. And this one is actually from Wedding Pro. Okay, 7 in 10 couples say the vendor responsiveness is their most important factor. You have to be the first one. You've got to have an autoresponder. And the other great thing is then when you walk into Dodger Stadium with all the food and everything, if you have that autoresponder on there, then you know you don't have to answer it until they've responded back. Because you've already taken care with an autoresponder. They've already gotten a reply. Okay, any questions about that? Okay, cool. People like it. What other questions? I know you had a question in the front here. Maybe it's on this phone. Yes.
Just out of curiosity, I'm a wedding planner, and this is all fabulous for the DJs and a lot of other vendors, myself included. But now we're coming into the age of where emails are often becoming obsolete as a phone conversation. What is your take on texting or any other means of communication with them besides just email?
If they indicate that texting is their preference or whatever, what I normally will say is, oh, I'll text them, I emailed you, just want to make sure that you got that. And I usually let them know, I can text you, but text messages tend to get lost for me because they're not like in an inbox like that where I'm going to be going in and seeing them all the time. And I know people enjoy texting, I think especially when we're getting more to the planning part of it, but in my experience, I feel like most of the brides that are contacting me are super organized anyway, and I think they kind of feel the same, like they can put stuff into folders and, you know what I mean, but yeah, I think it would be a good upgrade for the Knot or Wedding Wire, for example, if there was some way that we could integrate some kind of auto response or whatever with the texting. There's got to be some, I don't know if someone might know, there's an app or something you probably can set that up.
Twilio, and it's ready with our DJ event planner. So I've got automated emails and event planner, and then auto texts that are different. Same thing but different at different times. And Twilio is like a penny every time you send a text, something less than that.
Perfect. Twilio?
Twilio, and you get like
It's
a
a
special
paid
text.
service. I have it for my real estate business as well.
Okay,
So,
cool. Yeah, I figured they're probably going to do something like that.
But I was just curious as far as.
Yeah, you can use the same principles, like these principles of influence, they're still going to apply over text messaging, for sure. And again, you can, copy what you're going to say, the notes in your phone, and just throw it into the text. Over here.
So I have kind of a couple different related questions to the same topic here.
Sure.
First, I was just wondering, on average, how long does it take you to interact with each one of these leads, given the fact that you seem to be having kind of a full conversation with them?
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to have, the more times you email back and forth before the booking, the more likely these guys are to write you good reviews, give you referrals later, because there's already a trust factor that's established. They already really know you and like you because they've been willing to partake in this conversation, but also it happened because I made it possible. I didn't shove everything in their face on the first email, right? So I allowed, I opened the door for that to happen. So typically, I'm wanting to go like at least 5 emails. If they're they're in a hurry and they're getting back to me really quickly, I'm going to be respectful about it. I'm not going to drag it out for, unnecessarily. You know what I mean? So I don't care if it takes 2 weeks or 2 hours, but I just want to make sure we went back and forth.
So the reason why I ask is I still work a Monday through Friday as well, so it's very difficult for me to actually engage in a conversation with all of these different rides. So I was wondering if there were maybe some tips where I could use a workflow like this, but maybe flatten that out. I know like other presenters here that referenced putting the price list out there out front just to get rid of some of the tire kickers and some other things like that.
Yeah, I think really I'm just a huge proponent of authenticity and transparency. I think just letting them know I have another job during the day and I'm not available to respond to you as quickly. The fact that you've been honest about that, I like you. That to me works on the principle of likability. So, I mean, my advice would just be to be authentic and transparent about it. Just let them know. I can check my phone, on my lunch break and when I have my breaks and stuff, but it's not going to be as quick as when you email me on the weekend or on the evening.
And I guess my last question based on that would be on the auto response. If you put in something pointed like what kind of music you like, I noticed sometimes in the knot they give you a lot of those different extra details. Like
That's why you specify what kind of music do you want for dancing. Because all they've given you is genres of music. I don't know what genres are for the cocktail hour and which ones are for dancing. I don't know. Maybe they like R&B for dancing. Maybe they like R&B for cocktail. R&B to me is cocktail music, but to a lot of people it's reception music. So that's why, again, to specify what kind of music for dancing. Okay, over here.
Couple things. The first one is in response to that. The Twilio sounds like a great idea, but I always heard that you should just reply to rides or rooms in the manner that they first contacted you, because some people love getting a text and some people hate it.
Absolutely,
So
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
respond in kind, and that usually gets you better, get a response. And also, Wedding Wire actually, if you haven't used it yet, it already tells you how they prefer to receive it.
Yep.
It'll say Wedding Wire, or it'll say emails, or it'll say phone calls,
Yep.
text, whatever, and that's exactly what you should do. If one of our lead generators says they prefer to get a phone call, we should at least be making that phone call the first day we get it, you know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
somehow,
For me, if they say text when I get that contact form, then I will text them, but I'll also email them. Because at some point during the texting, I'm gonna let them know, it's just, they're gonna be typing long things to me, and I'm gonna be typing long things back. And to me, that just gets a little tedious on text. I feel like texting is for those quick back and forths, which I feel like is more like when we're planning.
Exactly.
Or when we're getting closer to the wedding
You
day.
know it's going to be involved, say, let's put this on an email.
Yeah, but I will text them back. But when I kind of feel like, okay, look, we're getting into one of those long texts, then I'll be like, okay, that's my window to kind of move this to email.
Exactly.
If it's okay with
And
them.
in response to your 25% frame that you had up there, the numbers are exactly on, because I remember the other day, there was a couple stale ones. It's like, what are these people doing? And I followed up with 8 of them, and within 3 days, I had 2 of them closed with money in hand.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah,
really
this
that's
is
helpful.
really one of the easiest tricks to boost your business is just going back through, previous leads that you thought maybe they were disappeared. Yes. Sorry. Always like to do my timer to make sure.
Are you gonna wrap up?
Yes.
Good. I whispered to you.
Oh. Well, it helps me too to know signposting while I'm speaking. Okay.
All right, first thing you were saying about texting, what I've noticed I've done in the last 2 years, for most of my clients now, is the morning of, I know that they're texters. A lot of my couples are planning their own events, or they're at the venue 4 or 5 hours early. So what I do when I'm leaving Easton, or if I'm on my way to the venue, or if I'm even a half an hour away, just to let you know your DJ is 20 minutes away from your venue.
Yeah.
It's a peace of mind. That's a Rockstar Melly thing, because I know peace of mind is like his favorite words. I've heard it a lot. The other thing is, and this is something I noticed when you were talking about in the emails. How do you tell them you only have one DJ left? Does that freak them out, saying, well, what happens if that last DJ's booked and the day of my wedding somebody gets sick? I have nobody.
No, I mean, you've got your backup people, of course, but I mean, like your DJs that are available. Yeah. Yes. So sorry, over here.
Yes, this isn't really a question, more of an observation. Part of your magic station class is you want to make your brain become, go over, I can't remember the exact verbiage. Essentially, you become a resource instead of a pain in the neck.
Yes, that's another great point. It's kind of in the middle here. There we go.
So you offer, say, hey, let's talk so you can pick my brain.
Yeah, and I'll let them know. You can ask me something about the venue, or it doesn't have to be necessarily music things or insane things.
Brian Rooms or Brian Rooms. People getting married, probably have never done this before.
Yep.
Where wedding DJs have done this, all the time. So they know what to do.
We don't even, honestly, we don't even realize all the expertise and knowledge that we accrue each wedding. We learn subtle things about, how to do a toast. You know what I mean? These things, we don't even realize we're learning. We really do have a lot of expertise to share with the
And
couples.
I think if you offer that piece of it, just that resource, even if you don't get a job, you'll get a friend. And from that,
Yeah, or you just help people, which is also nice, Okay. Oh, yes, right here.
One of the things I want to know, I've done a lot of weddings. I'm from the New York market, which is a hard market, and I get a lot of wedding leads through a variety of, I guess, lead generating companies. Sometimes I get a lot of ghosts, meaning I don't get no response because it's the particular company, and I don't want to name them because I probably deal with all of them. They sending you what this person needs a DJ for their wedding. You don't even know these people, but you got the somewhat of breakdown profile. You send them your information, and you hear nothing. But I mean, to me, if you are developing, I guess, people through your own website, which we have our own website. This is through, let's say, a particular referral company, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? What is your take on that? Because I see that your list. I mean, it seems like it addresses someone that's getting that business directly through their website, and where you can play with people that most of the people, if they even respond, they just want to know what's your price.
Mm-hmm.
And you
I'm getting into that situation myself,
Right.
living in Cancun, because my business is coming from planners.
And in New York,
I'm used to doing it this way. Now I'm going to have to adjust. So
right, and in New York, people are really quick, so it's like they don't want to play around. It's like how much is your service? Because I mean, there's a ton of us professionals out there that can do the job and do it, adequately. So, what is your take on that? Whether the person should work on their own, which maybe they should, their website, or deal through these various lead generating services, because I mean, of late, and I'm saying even before the pandemic, it was starting to get really stale. Because my prices are not cheap either, But what I'm saying is that we were pulling from that.
yeah, I think really it's about communication with the people that are getting you the leads. If you really just don't do well at X and such type of music or X and such type of events, I think it's really important to let them know these are my strengths. Bollywood music, I'm good at that, okay? And just be really clear, so when they send you leads, you already know, these are gonna be better leads for me, these are not gonna be as good. And Yeah, so you can at least be filtering
They
and
just give you a wedding lead, because I'm saying, we do everything. We've done Arabic weddings. I played Arabic weddings, Bollywood, you know, Jewish weddings, Caribbean weddings, you name it. New York is nothing by that.
yeah.
Right.
All
So
right, let me
that's
just go
how
right
come-
here.
Stace,
Yeah.
can I expand on that? I think, in my experience with those services that you're referring to, they're diluted. I know people that have used them.
Right.
Some of my younger DJs that have come on with my company have used them services
Right.
when they were single ops. They're diluted. The companies, they don't care how many DJs they have. They send that lead out to probably 150, 200 DJs.
You know what I'm saying?
And then at that point, you become that girl, that meme with the hot dogs hitting your face.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you want to be,
Yeah, you know what I'm
if
saying?
you want to be like,
Because at that point, your bride and groom is not really looking for quality.
yes, if you want to be
it's
a
quantity.
quantity,
It's quantity.
that's how you want to get your
the
leads. If you want to be a quality, this is how you want to get your
Yeah,
leads.
because at that point, you just become, I mean, I'm not saying you, but I'm
Right.
saying that kind of service just, it dilutes and it just becomes like, you got a better shot at getting a gig off of Craigslist than you do some of the
Exactly.
gigs sometimes. Because,
Or you might be happier with the job from Craigslist sometimes
Right.
because
And
at
you
least
might
they
be
saw
on-
you
Yeah.
and your brand on there.
yeah, I experienced that a lot with the younger guys that come on with me. Because they're like, oh, I've tried this Thumbtack or whatever the new one is. I don't know. We were at wedding and they changed their name. What is it? Spark now, yeah.
Oh, did they change their name?
They changed their name again. It used to be, it was Thumbtack and it was something else and then
Yeah,
Reverb.
they just keep rebranding. I
Yeah, they
haven't
keep
seen-
rebranding.
Before we
they-
get into like a thing here, were there any
But,
other
yeah,
questions
so-
relating to my seminar?
I just feel they dilute the leads.
Yeah, my contact information is on here. Just hit me up, and I'm happy to send out the slides to anybody. And it could be for this presentation or the one on Monday. I always like to share the slides. Anything else? Okay, so myself and DJ J Merch are going to a vegan restaurant for lunch. If there are any other plant-based people or people interested, come on over and you can have lunch with us. All right, thank you guys so much. Really